Imagine a world split in two, a Cold War not of bullets, but of brains and ambition. This wasn't just about politics, it was about reaching for the stars, and for a moment, America was losing. October 4th, 1957, a tiny beeping satellite named Sputnik orbits the Earth. It's Russian. The sound of that beep sent a shockwave across America. The final frontier was suddenly Soviet territory. Panic set in. Were we falling behind? The nation's pride was on the line, and the pressure was immense. America had to respond, and fast. Out of this fear, NASA was born, and the race to space officially began. In the face of Soviet dominance, one man stepped forward with a declaration that would change history. On September 12, 1962, President John F. Kennedy stood before a massive crowd and issued a challenge. He said, "We choose to go to the moon in this decade and do the other things. Not because they are easy, but because they are hard." It was an audacious, almost impossible promise. At the time, America hadn't even successfully put a man in orbit. The technology simply didn't exist. This wasn't just a speech. It was a promise to an entire nation, a beacon of hope in a time of uncertainty. The goal was set: land a man on the moon and bring him safely back to Earth before the decade was out. The path to the moon was paved with explosive failures. Early rocket tests were a public spectacle of disaster. Rockets like the Vanguard would barely lift off the launch pad before collapsing into a ball of fire. Newspapers called them flopniks and kaputniks. Each failure was a national embarrassment, broadcast for the world and the Soviets to see. But these weren't just failures. They were brutal, expensive, and necessary lessons. Every explosion taught engineers something new. With each failed launch, the dream of reaching the moon seemed to drift further away, but behind the scenes, scientists and engineers were relentlessly pushing forward, learning from every mistake, determined to make Kennedy's promise a reality. Then, on July 20th, 1969, the world held its breath. After years of sacrifice, struggle, and sheer determination, the Apollo 11 mission reached its destination. An estimated 650 million people were glued to their televisions, watching grainy black and white images being beamed from 240,000 miles away. Then, the words that echoed through history: "That's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind." Neil Armstrong, a quiet, humble hero from Ohio, stepped onto the lunar surface. For the first time, a human being was standing on another world. It was a moment of pure triumph, a shared global experience that transcended borders and politics. The race had been won. The Apollo program was more than just a victory in the Cold War. It was a revolution. It ignited a sense of national pride and unity in America that had been fractured by years of social and political turmoil. The we in "We choose to go to the moon" had finally been realized. Beyond patriotism, the scientific and technological advancements were staggering. From the microchip in your phone to GPS, freeze-dried food, and even memory foam, countless everyday technologies trace their origins back to the Apollo program. It inspired a generation to dream bigger, to study science and engineering, and to believe that with enough courage and ingenuity, nothing is truly impossible. The footprints on the moon may fade, but the legacy of that giant leap will last forever. Thank you so much for watching this journey back in time. If you enjoyed this story of ambition and discovery, please hit that like button and subscribe for more deep dives into history. Let us know in the comments what historical event you'd like to see next. See you in the next video.